on their video so that we have a round table discussion atmosphere here that Laura is speaking to us. First of all, thank you very much, Laura, for agreeing to be part of our seminars. And I will tell you why we're actually doing these seminars. 2 years ago, Middlesex University in the UK and Hazard University won a project which was announced by the British Council, Creative Sparks, within the Creative Spark program of British Council. And within that project, we have done multiple things. For example, we have a renewed curriculum at Hazard University where we have entered some subjects like entrepreneurship or creativity and entrepreneurship. And this year we have decided that we have to do something for the public, like to open this information or these seminars to public, to other universities, to students of other universities. So we decided to focus on a specific topic for Azerbaijan, which is a woman in entrepreneurship, because usually entrepreneurs are mostly male, and that was one of the reasons why we decided to focus on female entrepreneurs, so that our students are more motivated to start their own businesses. And your speeches are very inspirational for them to listen and not to be afraid to enter the industry. So thank you very much, Laura, for agreeing to be part of this series. And I would like to share some information about Laura, but then Laura can decide how much to talk about herself. Laura, she has graduated from Hazard University. Both her degrees she has received at Hazard, BA and MA. And also she later got her certification in human resource management from Wales University and other international institutions. She will share that information with you. So she's a professional, and she's a couple of years ago, some years, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 7 or 6 years ago, she has started her own business in HR, and she will tell us more about her business now. Welcome, and thank you again, Laura. Please.
Yeah, Razia, thank you very much for such nice introduction. Actually, it is amazing to be part of Hazard University. I'm very glad, and I would say I'm very proud that I am from Hazard University alumni. Because Hazard University is university, I would say it's a republic inside of republic. It's a different story, it's a different island, and different environment and different culture. And today I'm going to share some experiences from Hazard, my experiences from also my previous employers, and how I started the journey to become like a business person, a business owner in Azerbaijan. Razia, if you can help me to share my presentation, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yes, thank you. So, yeah, I'm sorry, Razia, I will be just kind of, bothering you with presentation.
Yeah, that's okay, Laura, yeah.
Thank you very much. So, again, thank you very much for everyone who joined today's presentation, today's webinar, and all of those who are listening later on YouTube. And thank you, Razia, for such a warm introduction. I want to start like my presentation from this quote, which I really truly believe that this is true for me and for many, many people, that life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Doesn't matter actually whether it's your professional life, whether it's your own business or your personal life, you need to go outside of this comfortable zone. Sometimes it may sound cliche, but this is really true for many of us. And I can say from my end that how many times I was going outside of this zone, many, many times. When I first time was conducting a job interview with candidates, it was outside of my comfort zone when you're shaking and you don't know what to ask, how to ask. This is very experienced person and you are only HR, so it was one story. Another story was when I first delivered my training to adults. And by the way, it was very well-known international oil and gas company. And there was a sharks, like literally it was sharks at that training. I went outside of my comfort zone. The next time was when I was firstly publicly speaking. And I think it is, and that the fear of public speaking is the next fear after the fear of death. And it was like another thing. And many times I was going outside of my comfort zone. And this is really true. And this is, I would say, needs to be like a fundamental of all of you, that if you really go outside of this comfort zone, you will feel proudness with yourself. You will feel that how your personal life and professional life gets some advancement. You will level up yourself only and only if you will go outside of this comfort zone. Can we go to the next slide? Thank you, Razia. And I know that Razia already mentioned about me. I'm not like planning to talk about me, but there is a story actually behind each of these words. Even starting with my name, like my name is Laura and surname is Hamidova, I can say that Laura is not a typical Azerbaijani name. It is international name, and it is because I came from the family where my mom, she is from Lithuania, and my dad, he is from Azerbaijan. And my mom, she just showed initiative to give me like international name, not Azerbaijani name. Actually, my dad, he was not very happy about this, but still I'm happy with my name for now. And yes, I come from different culture, from different background. It is, I would say it's Lithuania, it's more like maybe a female dominant culture. We had even a president female, but in Azerbaijan, it's more, let's be honest, it's more like male dominant culture. And actually, I was never planning to live in Azerbaijan. Really, it was not something that was included in my life plan. But as you can see, at the age of 17, my dad, he insisted me to come to Azerbaijan to study. And also Hazar University. Hazar University, by the way, it was also not in my plan list. I was supposed to study at State University of Languages and to most probably to be accepted to the faculty of philology or something like this. But one day, my dad, he was walking and he saw that, wow, university. Oh, Hazar University. What is this? So let me enter, let me see what is this Hazar University. Because it's private university. And 22 years ago, my dad, for example, he didn't know about the existence of this university. And it was also not in my plans to be law, to study law and generally to be a lawyer, but it was my, I would say, blue dream to become a lawyer. I was thinking that, it's not possible. You need to have a big GPA, very just high GPA. You need to have lots of money to be accepted to the law faculty. But I was very lucky. I was very lucky that my dad, that day, he entered Hazar University. He was given like these brochures, booklets, all information about. At those days, I don't know, Razia, correct me if I'm wrong, but for international student to be accepted at Hazar University, it was kind of piece of cake. But it was very difficult to study, to keep this, your status as a student. And I was accepted as a student at Hazar University in the Faculty of Law and Social Studies. And even at that time, I was just having like, these goosebumps. It was something amazing and not possible for me. And later on, actually, to become an HR professional, it was not part of my plan. I remember my first job offer as an HR specialist when I received the call, and employer told me that we would like to invite you. We would like to invite you to become an HR specialist. I said, who? HR? What these letters mean? I even don't understand the meaning of these letters, like H and R. I have a master in law and social studies. Am I supposed to be an HR? But honestly, at that time, I didn't have any better offers, and I decided to say, okay, let it be. Let me try, let me figure out what is this. And honestly, after entering this profession, I never regret. I never did regret, and I love this profession, and it became not only the job for me, but it became the entire work of my life. And 7 years ago, it became even much, much more than just a job and just a profession. I decided to build my own HR company, Fireworks HRM. So, and this was, I would say, beginning of my journey, beginning of facing of this all realities to become like a business woman in Azerbaijan. And it started really very, I would say, not just suddenly, but it started like step by step. And if you will go to another slide, I would like to get familiar about what we are doing, a little bit like few words about fireworks, and then I will share with you kind of my, let's call it, formula of success. Or what are the key elements that help me to start this and to do this, to become and to reach the destination where I am right now. fworks.us, so we have our website, and this is a screenshot from our website. By the way, this photo was taken in 2015. It is our kitchen and our office, and from time to time we sit together with our team, we take some cup of coffee or tea and discuss any kind of project, and those was one of the such kind of days. You can see Anar, he used to be our HR administrator. On another side, you can see Tutu, she used to be our HR recruitment service specialist, and also we had intern. And this is like a regular day. On the next slide, we can see our team, but this is not entire team, also only just a small like piece of our team. We have Lala Abdurrahmanova, our partner trainer. We have Professor Mais Aliyev, he is a partner trainer for legal trainings. We have Yuri, also he's a partner trainer. Currently, at the moment, I have like 9 employees in an employment status, and also we have near approximately 8 partner trainers. So I can't say that this is a big team, but I don't think that the quantity matters. I think the quality matters more, because we are selling our brain, we are selling our knowledge. And on the next slide, you can see also some part from our website. Actually, I put a screenshots from the website, so you get more idea that we are real, that we are here, and we have I think we have really good website, informative website. For example, for the students, the part that may be very interesting is Career Planning Academy, where we have it in 2 languages, in English language and in Azerbaijani language. You can find, for example, very interesting career tips. Some tips, for example, how to write your resume, how to pass and answer very tough and tricky interview questions. So this is something that can be useful for you. So just welcome to visit our website and check it. Also, on the next slide, I want to give a little bit more idea on what we are really doing, so, and how this idea was like born. I worked at that moment like 7 years ago. I had like approximately 9 years experience in HR. And I left my employer, and I used to work in an oil and gas company. By the way, it was British oil and gas company, which was the main subcontractor of British Petroleum globally. And we used to work in the Caspian Sea for modification and building these platforms in the Caspian Sea. So I left this job, and yes, I built the company, and I saw that how I can make the difference, how I can differentiate myself. And actually, I had major question. We have HR professionals, we have HR gurus in the market, and who I am, how I am different from others. I need to do it better or not to do it at all. And we decided to deliver, and when I say we, at that point, it was only me and our HR administrator. There was only 2 in our team. We decided to start delivering professional trainings in HR, and we also started offering soft skills trainings like time management, leadership, public speaking, presentation skills, and all of these, cliche topics. Also, we followed on recruitment. We were recruiting talented people for our corporate clients. And the 4th thing that we started doing is consultancy. We consulted, I would say, local and global even companies in terms of performance management, in terms of HR policies and procedures, and in terms of grading structure, and many, many other, I would say, HR topics. And on the next slide, you can also see that there is something that I'm really proud. You know that globally we have society that is responsible for all HR Q&As. It is SHRM, Society for Human Resource Management. And by the way, I want to say that when I finished my master's degree at Khazar University, and I started my position as an HR specialist in one of the production companies, I took a specific course from Khazar University, which was delivered, guess by whom? By Razia. And Razia, she was my teacher at that time, and I remember I was preparing for her class because I know that Razia is not giving any discounts to anyone. I was very serious about that. And in one of the handouts, I saw SHRM, like Society for Human Resource Management. It was something about SHRM. And you know, I was lucky, I think, that I was very keen to study some new things, and I was digging deeper inside. So my first understanding about SHRM came again from Khazar. It came from Razia. And I saw these letters, like 4 letters like SHRM, and I started investigating. In 2017, I purchased my first materials, very old, ancient, like books from SHRM, and I was starting preparing for exam. Of course, it was very difficult for me at those times. I even failed once SHRM exam. But later on, after 10 years, I became an official partner of this certification in Azerbaijan. And I think this is something that I really can be proud of. And my team, it's not only me, but it's the entire team, that I'm the only official provider and only certified and authorized trainer of SHRM certification in Azerbaijan. And we deliver SHRM CP, SCP classes, we deliver SHRM Essential Certification course, and also we are supporting already certified professionals to do their recertification classes. So those are the main products and profile of the company. I just wanted to give you an idea what kind of company I built, and it was not something very not familiar to me. I used to have experience in HR, and I decided to build something that I really love. But on the next slide, I want to be a little bit more personal and to share really my journey about how I started doing that. Actually, it didn't happen like overnight that, oh, leave your job and go to build your company. For me, it was not like this. For me, it was a different story. You know, when I left my job, I still continued to receive the calls from my previous colleagues. And I think they were like one of the motivators for me to open the company. I was constantly receiving the calls saying that, Laura, can you help me with this position? You know, you used to work in recruitment, and do you remember we met with this candidate? Do you still have his contacts? And I said, yeah, of course, I will help you. Then next day, I will receive a call from candidate. Laura, you know, there is an opening in that company. Do you know someone HR? I said, let me figure out. Maybe I can find the HR. And I was helping people. And at some point, I said, Laura, in any case you are doing that, maybe, but it was very careful and very silently, told to myself, maybe you should open your own HR company. And I said, no, never. We have already HR gurus in Azerbaijan. And okay, but who you are to do this? We already have it. You know, and again, like gradually, step by step, I was building this idea. And when idea was ready, I started to do this in real life. I started to materialize it. And on the next slide, I would like to share like my personal photos. It is something that I would say, some fragments from my life. Razia, if you can go to the next slide. Yeah, thank you. Those are my kids. So I think it is from 2012 or 2013. Those are my kids. My second child, Eliar, he was born, and actually he was a reason why I left my company, my job, because he was not sleeping at nights, and I was waking up maybe 5 times per night. And in the morning when I was coming and rushing to job, my manager was telling me that, Laura, are you okay? Are you sick? Is everything okay? Do you have any health issues? You look not nice. And you know, I think at some point I was really, I was really like tired by hearing this, and I said, okay, I'm leaving, bye-bye. And I left, and actually, why I'm sharing those pictures, I want to say that at that time I was mom of 2 kids, small kids, with lots of daily routine and daily issues. Those who have kids can really emphasize me and understand what does it mean when you are like feeding your kid and you're writing your assignment, you're doing some phone calls, and you again with one leg, you are, how to say it, you're making sure that your kid is comfortable, putting some meal on his or her food. So it was challenging. It was challenging. And in my environment, I even had people who were telling you will never make that. You have 2 kids. What are you doing? Are you crazy? You will invest money and you will lose, money. It's not the right time to do that. What I can to say is there is never right time. If you will wait for the right time, it will never happen. What does it mean, right time? How you can define that this is the right time for me? Never. There is never right time. If I would wait for the right time, maybe I will do it at the age of 60. Maybe. I remember when I decided to take HR management certification from Welsh University, I was expecting my second baby, and my last assignment I wrote and sent it 1 day before I gave birth to my second child. So is it the right time to prepare for to take the studies from Welsh University, UK? Not. So on the next picture, next slide, sorry, you can see so how I came from only being mother to being woman in a business. And in this photo, there is a story behind each of these photos. The first one, you can see me sitting in my chair in my office. So a lot of papers around, and I was preparing for one more crazy training. The next photo, ice cream photo. It's my team. In most, we are female team. Fortunately or unfortunately, but in the office we have, female team. And I remember even one guy, he came for the training to our company. He said, "Are you feminists? You're only females." I said, no, nothing personal. And after that, we took one male. Actually, we took one guy. But yes, before that, we had only like a ladies team. And yes, we are having ice cream. It's again our kitchen. And this was taken this summer. So we really do fun and we really do work. We work hard and we also have a good rest. The next photo is like mountains. You can see green mountains. It was 2014. It was the first team building which we were delivering to our client. And our client, it's a very well-known and huge company in Azerbaijan. So I was very proud. It was like approximately 38 or 40 employees, and it was very tough team building. They had a lot of problems. And the next photo was like happy photo with a purple background. It is my student from Bahrain. 2 years ago in 2019, suddenly I received a message from LinkedIn, and without even checking the message, I pressed the button yes, and then I was starting to figuring out how I'm going to do that. I received an offer to teach SHRM classes to Bahraini students. And in 2019, the project lasted approximately 7 or 8 months. And I even counted, I was traveling to Bahrain 18 times. Almost every weekend I was going to Bahrain, coming back. And it was a very interesting journey. And by the way, Bahraini people are amazing people. And I like specifically women, how powerful they are and how result-oriented they are. And the last picture is from AmCham, American Chamber of Commerce. Our company became a member of AmCham, and I think it was one of my best decisions because it opened lots of business opportunities to us. It's an amazing platform for networking, very big platform. And I was delivering presentation about our company, and they give me award just for talking about my company. So the next slide. On the next slide, so this is it was like a journey. So how I went from me being mom to me being a businesswoman. I don't know to name it formula or how, but before entering to my own business, I asked myself those 3 questions, and I really want you to recommend to ask those questions to you as well. And by the way, you can use this formula not only if you are opening your own business, but generally for your professional career as well. When you really want to close yourself, to attach yourself to any profession, ask yourself those 3 questions like want, can, and need. And on the next slide, I would like that just briefly just to share. For example, I asked myself, do I really want to do this? Do I really want this? Do I really want to open an HR company? Do I want this? Yes or no? Yes, I want this because I love HR. I really love this profession. And once you enter HR, you really don't want to leave this profession. And I said, yes, I really want. I would love to actually to run HR business. I'm not happy. I never wanted to run bakery, for example, or restaurant or any kind of other business, but I really want to run HR business because this is something that aligns with my knowledge, skills, my competences, and something that I identify myself. The next question on the next slide is, can I do this? Do I have a capacity? Can I do this? Do I have, again, these resources? Like, it's not only about financial resources, because honestly, I'm very open with you. To open an HR company, you shouldn't have many financial resources, because it's a main, your resource, your asset is your brain. It's a human resource. It's a brain. And do I have time to do this? Can I do this in terms of time, even in terms of a little bit in terms of finance? Can I do this in terms of my knowledge and capacity? And for me, the answer was yes, I can do. And I went to the next question and the next slide. Do people need this? Yes, I want to do this. Wow, I'm very excited about this. I can do this, but do people need me? Do organizations need me? Do candidates need me? On this question, honestly, I was a little bit stuck. And I decided to write business plan. I started preparing business plan, to do all of these things like what you usually do in a base SWOT analysis, SLA analysis, who will be your main stakeholders, your clients, and all of this. And I started to be scared. I really was scared when I figured out that do people need this? And then I looked at this from different perspective. I looked at this from the perspective that, okay, I'm a consumer, because 8 or 9 years I used to work in a corporate environment as a corporate HR. For example, with my last employer, I used to work as an HR coordinator. I was coordinating a lot of processes, and specifically talent acquisition process. And I figured out, and I was just asking myself that, Laura, when you were as an HR coordinator, what you wanted to receive from recruitment companies, from your vendors? And I said, okay, there was a lack of quality. There was lack of time, because, we received good candidates, potential CVs within a weeks. It was not fast response. And I saw that, okay, how I can differentiate myself being as an HR recruiter and opening an HR company or recruitment company. And one of the major things was that I can provide high quality candidates. I can be very I can provide and give very personal approach to our clients, personal approach, not like general approach. And also I can work fastly. I can work if necessary, 24/7. And honestly, it happened like this, that I used to work for many years, like maybe 3 or 5 years for 24/7 almost. So I figured out that yes, people need this. People actually would love to buy my services. And candidates actually would love to trust me, their resumes. And then I went to the next level, the next slide. Am I ready to focus on this? I think that the focus is something that is very important. Doesn't matter whether we're talking about your studies, for example, at universities exams, or about your career in the corporate environment, or your own business, or even your personal life. Focus, I think, is everything. If you really want to do this, you can do this, and you think that people will need you. But if you are not focusing, you will lose focus, you will be spread horizontally, if you will multitask and do different things. So for me, I'm talking from my side actually, I don't think that I would be able to be successful. One of the major elements of, if I can call my business and career successful, one of the major success factors is being focused on something. Doesn't matter whether I'm reading a book or drinking water or doing anything, I'm trying to be focused on some things. And in a business, it's a very crucial moment. Why people are successful? Because they used to do the same thing, they focused on something during the long period of time. So, and if you really can do this, if you really want to do this, and if people need this, and you are focused, I think that you really can be very successful. And I truly believe that it doesn't matter whether you're a business owner or you are working for someone in a corporate environment. Who said that everyone needs to be like a business owner? No, you can be a good professional and work in a corporate environment. But if you really believe in this and truly want this, you will be able to achieve this. And once, I don't remember, I think it is also very famous saying that be careful with your dreams, because dreams may come true. And actually this is very true, very true. Starting from me dreaming to study law, me running my own business, and ending, I don't know, with maybe overseas opportunities which I received from Bahrain company. And if we can go to the next slide, which is the last slide for me, is that if you really know those 3 elements and you implement those 3 elements, plus if you will be focusing, yes, of course, you truly can do this. And at the end of the day, if you will not be doing this, then who will be doing this? I truly believe that every person, every woman, specifically young woman, nowadays having such resources, capacity, online, global opportunities, all of these resources, within all of these resources, like books, mentorship programs, with university offering such many opportunities, and for example, even this project, you have all resources to do this. Yes, thank you very much. From my end, it's all. And if you have any questions, I am welcome. You're welcome to ask. Thank you.
Yes, Laura, thank you very much for amazing journey to your business and your success story. That was wonderful, wonderful story. Thank you very much for sharing your, challenges and, successes with us. And I think that's very inspirational for our students who want to start anew. That was the goal. That is the goal of a project, to bring outstanding people like yourself and to share their experiences with our students who wants to start. Thank you very much. Now we are open for questions. Please, if you have questions, just raise your hand and speak up. George, you wanted to ask a question.
Yes, I have plenty of questions. But you mentioned that at the time where you were having doubt about your direction, you created a business plan.
Yeah.
And you made it sound so easy. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that the students attending, and we have 54 people attending, which is amazing. And I think that they will be scared listening to the word business model. So can you please share your experience? Did you get guidance? How did you structure it? How did you think about what to include and so on?
George, thank you for your question. A very good question, actually. For me, like 8 years ago, it was also scary word, very scary to know business plan. Like, what is this? Actually, for me, it was the first experience. I never did any business plan, never developed a business plan before. And I think what I did is that, unfortunately, maybe I didn't have at that time like any management education. And for example, for those students who are on a business administration, business management, MBA students, for example, for them it is much, much easier. To be honest with you, I didn't know what SWOT analysis is. And I think I was digging like Google, internet. It is simple, nothing, there is no any extra story on that. And I was digging Google that, what is a business plan? How people start business? For me, you may not know what business plan means, and many other tools you may not be familiar with. But I think that the main success factor here is that whether you are keen to do that, whether you are self-motivated, and whether you're keen to do self-study. You will never find such a mentor or person who will sit with you and will tell what to do you. I think I met with right people who asked me right questions. I think this is a very successful thing, that when people ask you right questions, that, Laura, okay, you are opening a company. Have you thought about who will be your competitors, for example? What kind of challenges you expect? How much revenue you expect during the first year, for example? What will be your major expenses? What are the risks from the market? What kind of opportunities you expect? And I think at least to have a person who would ask you the right questions, and your like willingness to do self-study will help you. To write a business plan, it is not a piece of cake, but it is not such a scary thing, honestly. The most scary thing is to start. And when you start, you begin, okay, do your research. There is no like standards for this business plan. Just do some homework for that. At least if you will fail, but you will not fail, at least you will be able to say, I did my research. I knew that I have this risk and I'm prepared for this risk. So at least you will be prepared for the risk as well. Maybe after you will do your business plan, you will see that, no, it's not for me. Again, you need to do this evaluation before that. And it's not such a difficult thing, I think. Yeah, thank you for the question, George.
Thank you. And if I have a follow-up, it's amazing that you've done so many things with your own driving initiative. But of course, as with every startup, one of the main issues after you have a business plan is where you find the money. So I'm not going to ask you where you found the money or how you use it, but can you give advice, especially to young people, how to search for, because teach them all the time, and I teach it all the time and say, if you have a business plan, you can approach a bank, you can go to a Dragon's Den event, you can have business angels, you can ask mom and dad, and so on and so on. But any kind of advice in terms of how they could be seeking for possible sources of revenue? Okay, I think we lost her, and I'm admitting here now. Sorry, I think you dropped there, so I'm going to ask the question again, Laura. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you asked me about the money. How
so this question, if you can actually give them a little bit of advice where they should be looking for that financial support that will help them establish the business. And Razi, I promise I'm going to keep my mouth shut from now on. I ask 2 questions, no more.
That's okay, George.
Yes, my pleasure. I would say very trendy questions and very actual questions. Actually, in terms of money, first of all, what I think about money, about resources, like financial resources. There are 2 types of businesses. One of the businesses is when you, for example, do some equipment, you need some equipment, you need some like tangible things to do. For this kind of business, of course, you need, I think, a big budgets. But if we would talk about like, again, intangible things, intangible business like trainings, consultancy, HR, for me, I can say that in my business, specifically in HR business, I was in a need of huge budget. And this budget came from myself and from my family, because it was on the rent of the office. It was a very small office, and believe me, I was earning money and I was spending money for rent, for taxes, and it was happening. It was happening almost first 3 years. The first 3 years, don't expect any revenues about this. So you will not be able to earn. I was happy to close my expenses. Like you earn one manat and you spend 1 manat. That's it. Zero at the end of the day. I was volunteering for 3 years, and you need to be ready to volunteer. But if you are opening a business where you really need like a big cash, I think there are a lot of grants, a lot of acceleration programs that nowadays, I mean, in different, all over the world. I know that in Germany you have an acceleration program, in Singapore, in New York, in Canada, like globally. Even in Azerbaijan, we have technology center. Even I think it is in Gençlik, near Astan. So you have this technology center. They are offering some grants, some money, support, at least sitting place in the open area in an office. So I think if you will save even on the rent, it will be a huge input into your business. But I mean, you need to start from small things. Don't run into the rocket science and business, like huge businesses. What I did like very small steps. I never risked, even nowadays when someone says that put money and do this big risk. No, it's not for me. And you need to choose what is right for you. I can say what is right for you, but for me, for example, I was thinking about what portion of risk I can handle, what kind of risk appetite I have. Am I ready to do these big risks, or better to go with small risks? And in terms of money, again, in my case, it was not huge money, but again, I was hugely supported by my family. Yeah. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for the amazing question.
Thank you very much for questions and for answer. Any other questions, students? Are you interested in particular things? Laura, our students are, I think, getting ready for their questions. While they are getting ready for the questions, what was the perception of yourself from a side, from others? How you overcome this barrier in Azerbaijan? You talked about male dominance. That was one of the major arguments in our project too. That's why we want to focus on female entrepreneurship. So what was the perception? I mean, how you deal with this? At least felt in the beginning of your entrepreneurship career. Yes.
Razi, I think it's one of the painful questions and one of the painful topics when you start business. And by the way, I wouldn't suggest here to differentiate like male or female. When you start the business, when you are nobody, you receive this perception, either you are male or female. And in my case, I had perception, I was perceived by other people, both from female as well. In majority was the perception from female. Because there was, it was the pitiest part of the story that we as a female need to support each other. And the perception came that, wow, she did it, I can do it, something like this. It was jealousy or something like this. But I wouldn't differentiate the gender here. But yes, there was perception. And the major perception was that, imagine that, Razia, you're talking with potential client and no one knows you. Who knows fireworks? And when they ask, when your company was established, and you say 2 months ago, can you imagine the reaction of the person that, oh, 2 months ago? Okay, thank you. I have tasks to do. Bye-bye. You know, and I think that the difficult part was when you try to convince audience that you are capable to do these things. You are capable to deliver training, consultancy, to do recruitment. In my case, I knocked the door. I am not going to name the company because of confidentiality, but it was one of the biggest telecommunication companies in Azerbaijan. I only knocked the door myself of that company, and I faced with this perception that who is she? Who is this company? It is not label company. We need to work only with labels because we are ourselves labels. And after that, I gave the word to myself that I'm not going to knock the door of any company. I will do my volunteer job. I will do something, and then companies will come to me. And actually, Razia, it happened. It happened. And every customer that came to us, it was word of mouth. It was word of mouth, it was social media advertisement, but I personally didn't knock, and I don't do that at the moment. I'm knocking the door of any companies. I think your work, your quality needs to talk, not you. But the barriers, yeah, it was. It is I would say it's not a pleasant part of the job. But those barriers, I went through those barriers after 2 years, approximately.
Thank you very much, Laura. Any other questions? Questions, guys?
I think for the students, and when you are very young and you're starting your career journey, sometimes it's difficult to ask the questions and to figure out what is right to ask and what is wrong to ask. But also simply what I also want to say, I think for the students it will be interesting. Every year our company Fireworks, we are running internship programs for the students. And it's for those who are interested in HR job and planning to be future HRs, welcome to send their resumes, their CVs to apply for our internship program. This summer we're going to have an internship program for the few students. It will be during 1 month. And if you're really interested, Razia, I think we can just, maybe your department can be as a bridge to reach us, and if necessary, we can leave our email so the students can send their resumes for those who are interested. And during the internship program, we teach in general what corporate world is, what HR job is, and a lot of tips from corporate life.
Yes, well noticed, Laura. I will be in touch. I think Career Development Center at Khazar will be in touch with you too. Thank you very much for that. And I think Laura has mentioned one crucial thing that we had addressed last year in our project, George, that besides those management students, those who are studying management and business, other students are lacking the skills of entrepreneurship, managerial skills, and they do not have this acumen. And that was one of our purpose in our initial project, to have these models of entrepreneurship or management model in any study program at the university, so that students have an idea. Maybe he doesn't want to work for anyone, he wants to establish his own business, but he has to have this ability to establish the company and to run the company. That was last year the focus of our project, and I think that was a very crucial moment you mentioned, that you didn't know and it took you a while to get into it yourself. And that would be nice for everyone to have these chances to gain these skills while they are doing their general studies at the university level. So thank you very much, Laura, for many points you mentioned, your brilliant experience you shared with us and all of our students. And this video is going to be spread through our YouTube channel. So then the other students will have an opportunity to watch it later and to learn from your experience. Thank you very much, George. You want to say yes, please?
I wanted also to thank Laura, but actually one of the messages of today's talk, which is really important, because I think Laura is taking things for granted. I'm not going to ask a personal question, but Laura, you come across as coming from a family, and I'm a father of I have a daughter, and I think you're coming up from a family where I don't think you saw things differently between boys and girls. And because in your talk you said, yes, I don't think there is a diversity and so on. So one of the things that I want to say mostly to our female students is that not all families give equal backing and confidence to their boys and the girls. And one of the main priorities for the project this year is when families, and actually those of you who had it in the family, you are blessed. Those of you who didn't have the family, it is never too late to start with your own children and your own siblings. And it is very important for female entrepreneurs to realize that the business world is not just for males, it's not just for boys. And Laura and all our speakers in this series, it's a testament that if you have the confidence and in yourself, you can achieve everything. And we're not going around praising and trying to teach girls to be confident. What we're trying to say is that it's regardless of your gender should not be an issue. And I think that it comes from the family, Razia. And I don't think, some of our speakers said it, like in the past we had speakers saying, like my dad was very supportive. But again, sometimes it goes to extreme because some dads are supportive in the wrong way because they look at their daughters think, you are the son that I didn't have, which again is the wrong mentality. The point here is to make is that the focus is entrepreneurship, the focus is innovation, and every individual is worth having a chance. So it is really amazing. And Laura, we're really thankful. And I think that we need to all the students need to understand that.
George, thank you very much for bringing this point. Actually, I totally agree with you. And from my side, actually, in terms of my, career, like corporate life, for example, parents, dad, he never said that you need to do this, you need to do that. But he decided for me where I'm going to live, whether it will be Azerbaijan or Lithuania. Actually, coming to Azerbaijan, maybe it's not right to say, but I was forced to come here. I didn't have a choice to stay in Lithuania or to come in Azerbaijan. Either it is Azerbaijan or it is Azerbaijan. There is no other choices. And at some point, I was kind of afraid, like authority, that, like mentality, culture. I didn't have a right to say my opinion. But what happened later on, I think I just stopped being only a daughter of one father and started becoming a human being. Started just making my own decisions, that it's my own decision. Yes, and that's why today I started my speech that how many times you need to go outside of your comfort zone. Do you know how it's difficult, like, to break the status quo? I think the most difficult thing is to break status quo. When you used to live for 20 years like this, and now you're going to live differently. This is something that is very difficult. I mean, yes, I may take a lot of things for granted. I may not see myself from outside, and I may say, wow, it's a piece of cake to do, but actually it was not a piece of cake to do. And my advice to all of our participants, specifically for the young female, for young ladies, just don't afraid. Don't afraid. In any case, your family always loves you. Even if they don't support you and don't agree on certain things, you are an independent human being. We come to this world alone and we will leave this world alone. So be yourself, don't afraid to make your dreams true. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for listening. And I wish you really good luck in your project.
You are brilliant, like always. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining, and you can watch it later, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.